Good morning, everyone, and Merry Christmas. Don't worry, this is cornbread batter. It's nothing disgusting. And I certainly wasn't expecting to make cornbread on Christmas morning. I was intending to do more of a French toast. However, as things turned out, this cornbread here is especially so that I could play with a Christmas present I received rather unexpectedly yesterday. None other than the Birmingham Stove and Range Handy-Dan Cornstick pan. This pan has a really interesting history, even though it was one of the last pieces made by Birmingham Stove and Range, and I will show that to you in just a moment. This is a sweet cornbread batter, and so that means we're going to be adding a lot of honey to it. Ooh, yeah. We're at a good consistency. So it's time to bring out the star of the show. And voila! A Handy-Dan cornstick pan, which has 8 rows of corn instead of 7. On the back, it also has the mold mark. It has a Made in USA mark and the mold number of 74H, which I believe was the only mold used to make this. Just as important, it's also been heated to just about 400 degrees. And the secret to non-stick cornbread, well, one of the secrets, you mix the hot oil right into the batter. You can't have cornbread without the sizzle. The story of the Handy-Dan cornstick pan is an interesting one in that in late 1980s, unfortunately, Birmingham Stove and Range was having a lot of financial difficulty. Not bad for only 20 minutes. It had really done well during the gas crisis of the 1970s, and when the economy recovered, that actually sent its revenue plummeting. And so to survive, the company made a number of drastic changes, including completely outsourcing their cast iron cookware business. That was when Birmingham Stove and Range renamed themselves to A&B Foundry. And they entered into a deal with another local foundry to actually produce their cast iron. They moved their own equipment out of the original factory and off to another location. For the record, the other company was not Lodge Cast Iron, despite some rumors that say that. It was a local company called Robinson Foundry. However, due to a very bad business deal, the entire deal went down the tubes, and the equipment never was returned to the factory. So, not too long after that, Birmingham Stove and Range went out of business. During this period, interestingly enough, they produced several small items to generate revenue and, well, hopefully stay in business, of which the most successful was probably the Handy-Dan cornstick pan. It was a really unique idea of putting a handle on the traditional cornstick pan, and I could say from experience now that this was a really great idea. It makes it much easier to take the hot pan out of the oven. But unfortunately, it wasn't enough to save the company, and Birmingham Stove and Range finally folded. Because of this, the handy-dandy Cornstick pan was only produced for a few years, and so even though it's relatively new in age compared to some vintage cast iron pieces, it has already become quite a collector's item. And you can usually find this on eBay at, as usual, very inflated prices. I believe they're typically going for about $75 or more on eBay. Up. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, whoops, and 8. And voila, we have cornbread. This is definitely a Christmas present I am looking forward to using many times. I can only hope everyone here has enjoyed watching, especially on this fine Christmas morning. So of course, all I can do now is wish you all Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year.